Let's talk about Back to the Egg, shall we? We need to talk about Back to the Egg. 1979 album, Wings' seventh and final album, panned, I think, by the critics. What did Rolling Stone say? I've got it written here. The sorriest grab bag of dreck in recent memory. But who listens to Rolling Stone anyway? And who listens to critics? Because everything is subjective, right? I like black, you like white. I like my eggs over easy. I like them sunny side up. Do you see what I did there? For me, Back to the Egg, it was actually quite an energetic album. I was 16, 17 when it came out, and living in Sweden. And I think because I was still learning to play the guitar, so we had things like We're Open Tonight, and I could learn how to play that. Was that on that album? We're open tonight for fun. I'm going to have a look. Ding, 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 ding. Arrow Through Me. I like that song. Yes, We're Open Tonight. Lawrence Juber and Paul McCartney played and recorded those songs here at Lympne Castle in stairwells. So we'll get to that in a minute. So the album was kind of panned, and McCartney himself is not very fond of it. It's reported that he's not very fond of it. But the fans kind of love it. And why would they not? Fans love everything that McCartney puts out. However, the album did reach number 10, or it was a top 10 in the UK and in America, and actually went platinum in America. I mean, how many sales do you need to go platinum? That's quite astonishing. So it was quite a successful album, and actually was a Grammy award-winning album because of the instrumental rockestra. I never had any. The album was started recording in 1978, and it was recorded up in Kintyre in his Ranakan studios. Also down at Lympne Castle, they actually recorded tracks here. Love Awake, Winter Rose, After the Ball. Million Miles is on the other one, isn't it? After the Ball, how many? Where's Million Miles from? Is that on this album too? Suddenly it's stuck in my head. Anyway, they recorded We're Open Tonight, After the Ball, Winter Rose, and Love Awake. And the broadcast and reception were recorded here. The broadcast and reception had narration from Harold and Deirdre Margaret. Am I saying that right? I'll put the name down here. Because they owned the property. So they were they read some excerpts from books that were found in the library. I did this morning look at the broadcast, and it says lyrics by Paul McCartney, and I'm thinking, if you lift it from a book but you put it into your own recording, are you allowed then to have the credits for writing the song? We've got a chance and we'll take it. We may win or we may lose. So yeah, that was recorded here. Then they recorded in Abbey Road and also in Replica Studios, as well as I said, Ranakan Studios up in Kintyre. So that was all the recording during the late 78 up into 79. And then Paul McCartney then went off and kind of abandoned Wings so that he could focus on McCartney 2. They got back together, I think after Linda had given birth to James. They were doing the recording, so he was doing McCartney 2, trying to get a timeline in my head here. But they adjourned. No, not adjourned. I thought I had someone coming. Might have been a ghost. See my ghost video up here. Where am I? Losing my train of thought. I always do that, don't I? Ding, 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 ding. What was I talking about? Yes, the TV special. That's what I was talking about. They released a TV special, 30 minutes, in 1980. And for me, this was the kind of the cement that glued together the album that was hodgepodge of styles and music, McCartney trying to capture the new wave and the punk, and be spin it on, don't stop, getting it out with his melodic, what's the thing that we connect McCartney with for his love songs? You know, whimsical. You know, love awake, toll the bell. It cemented all of those songs on an album that was side A rock, side B mellow. Maybe that's why they had, you know, Over Easy and Sunny Side Up as the album. That makes sense now. Suddenly it's just clicked. Now, which side is Sunny Side Up? Which side is Over Easy? Because to me, Over Easy would be the mellow side, and side A would be the raw, raucous. Clever, clever. I just got that. But the TV special connected all of that together, so I could actually see the visual representation of the band performing these songs and actually giving us a performance that, you know, you would listen to the music and you'd think, oh yeah, that's, oh, I've seen the band, and that sticks it in the brain, you see, because I now visualize Spin It On with the tiger moth coming out of the hangar, the camera zooming into the stage, the lights start flashing, Steve Holly on his drum, spin it on, don't stop. And it's so, you know, because it does that, I've got that visual, because we didn't get that for any of their previous albums. Oh, had they done TV specials for, you know, Band on the Run and Wings at the Speed of Sound, my favourite Wings album, you know, Venus and Mars. But the TV specials, maybe it was the foresight of McCartney, because they'd done videos with the Beatles, hadn't they? And they'd done footage of all the Wings stuff previously, but it was never a production. I think maybe London Town, with a little luck, and they actually did a proper video. But then, of course, the breakthrough of MTV in the early 80s, when Godley and Cream left 10cc so they could do video production. Because a visual and an audio together, it sells the records. So McCartney was already onto it. Always a kind of, you know, let's get there first before everyone else is doing it. But I think that's what McCartney says, is you work hard and you don't know what the outcome's going to be. You just hope that you're going to get lucky, and but it's the hard work, it's the doing it. So what I would do in this video, I can't actually access the inside of Lympne Castle because it's private, it's a wedding function. I did actually email them and ask them, do you mind if I come in? This is what I do, this is my channel. But I got no reply. So if I do eventually get a reply, there'll be a part 2 to this video where I actually go in and look at the locations inside. But what I thought I would do is just scout out the locations from that TV promo, which is going to be Lympne Castle, Lympne Airport, some people call it Lympne, it's not, it's Lympne, and down onto the marsh, because we've got lovely meadows and fields. I think I found the location where they filmed again and again and again. And then we'll go over to Camber Sands, because there is Baby's Request was filmed down there, and I want to kind of tread on that location. So for now, leave the seat, go to the front of the castle, and let's take you there. This is the front of the castle. Actually, if I was going to leave the thing on the tripod, but the entrance is here. Lovely big archway, and you can see the building at the back there. I might sneak down there in a minute just to show you the Great Hall from the outside. There's a lot of bugs. It must be the bug season. But at the beginning of Winter Rose, Linda has ridden the horse up the front of the castle, and so she comes through the archway here, and you see her coming along, and this is all bathed in white. It's obviously false snow, and you see her bringing the horse here, and Paul does this kind of awkward, I'm going to get this out of my pocket, I've got some, you know, and he feeds the horse. She's taking the horse away, and you've got this wall on the edge here, and you see her walking through here and then through the archway. I have a funny feeling that there's another part of the grounds over the walls. Isn't this lovely? So majestic. I don't know if this works, because there is one scene where Paul and Linda, she's bringing the horse through, and then he kind of, I've got to go now, and he disappears to the left there. So this is now a private function for weddings and things. And as I say, if I can get in. But you can see the windows with the lights and everything. That's the Great Hall. And they recorded in there. And you also get McCartney with his guitar looking out the window when Love Awake starts. Such a lovely song. And I love that whole sort of the D flat. D, 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 D. That was an awakening for me as I was learning to play the guitar. I might get away with just a 10-second soundbite of that. And what that album does, or specifically that song, it has that northern brass band again. What were they? The Black Dyke Brass Band. I'll put the name here. It's from memory. But they did a song on the Apple album, on the Apple label, called Thingamabob. So Paul knew of them and had invited them to play on Love Awake, and it's evocative again of that nostalgia and the old world. And Paul's really good at doing that kind of stuff. So he's bringing that in, which takes me back to, you know, his old songs of Martha My Dear and everything. But then when you get to Baby's Request, that then harks back to You Gave Me the Answer and Honey Pie. So he's always got these kind of, I can cross all genres and I can cross all boundaries. You know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reggae. I've not actually heard that, I don't think. I know of it. Okay, so that's the entrance to Lympne Castle. So what we will do now is go to the airport. So let's go here. Lympne Airport, yes, the hangar, the blister hangar, is now an industrial estate. You think to yourself, how am I going to find the location where they had the blister hangar when all we've got is this industrial estate? And what is it with McCartney and airfields? He's got two now in his videos, hasn't he? The first one up here, Magical Mystery Tour, where I went to Westmoreland. Now this was a lovely old aerodrome, and I will show you the overview picture while I'm turning around here. You can see the lay of the land, the little terminal, and the landing strip, the airfield strip. It's actually quite an important airfield in its time. The RAF recommissioned it, or requisitioned it, in 1940, and it was the designated landing strip for the plot to kidnap Hitler. This is where the plane was going to land. However, the filming in the blister hangar is the other side. Let's show the map again. You will see, I'll circle it, where the blister hangar was. So we're going to drive around to that location, park up, and then walk into the field, and we'll have a look. I love taking you on these mystery trips. Yeah, let's do it. Over to the other side of the airfield. We'll have a look. So heading out onto the old airfield, this land is now designated for housing, so the government have reclaimed it. Anyway, just down here, the remains of what was the blister hangar is a concrete platform, so we want to go and stand on that concrete platform. Now, going back to the idea of lyrics, and you know, me thinking about how McCartney perhaps needs a collaborator sometimes when he's writing his songs, because he comes up with such kind of diverse lyrics. But you get the "Hey cousin, let's spend the night in an aircraft hangar, memories spin it on," which is why they probably thought, we need to do a video that has an aircraft hangar in it, because that would link to the song, right? So the entrance to the hangar, just between the two bushes and the trees here, painted black, and the big Wings logo, you know, at the top of it. And the owner of the hangar liked the painting and the colours so much and the logo that he actually left them on there way after the band had finished recording the processes. And it was demolished in the early 1990s, so it's gone. What I'm going to try and do is pan my camera from as high as I can reach and see if I can superimpose the beginning of Spin It On with the tiger moth coming out. You've got the houses at the back. Trees have now grown up. We'll go and walk down there in a minute, but let's have a look at this bit of footage. How high can I get this? I'm 5'10", so I'm going to reach right up. Does that make any difference? So if you walk down here, you've got just the entrance would have been just here. So the whole blister hangar would have covered this whole area, and they had the stage set up inside, and they filmed 2 songs here. I say filmed, you know, the recording was done, they're miming to the songs, and that was Getting Closer and Spin It On. But in order to, you know, make use of the whole situation and the whole location, they actually did an impromptu concert for the locals and the people at the airfield, so they all came along here and they were performing here. You had the parachutes from the local parachute organisation, provided those. If you dig out, if you kind of scout close enough, you might find a plectrum or two, an old wire or a cable. No, nothing. I had to look. So yeah, Spin It On and Getting Closer, and they actually filmed some of the footage with the old Mercedes van, you know, with the band all, you know, miming that they're driving. But actually you do see some footage of the van, and that was filmed on and around the airfield. Glorious. Look, we've got the North Downs just over there, and that spans right across the North Kent coast. And you can see those North Downs in the Strawberry Fields video from Knoll Park, excuse me. Right, that's Spin It On. I think we will, and I'm doing it, we will go here. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Boom, boom. Couldn't help myself. Dad joke. This is as near as I can get. In the distance, in the sunshine, is Lympne Castle. So we've just come down from there. During the time of filming, this would have been rapeseed field. Lovely, lovely, lots and lots of yellow. Now, I did read that in doing the filming locations for the TV special, they used the castle, they used the aerodrome, they used Camber Sands, and then it mentions for the song Again and Again and Again, a field nearby. That's all it says. So I offer up to you this field nearby. This is Tame Lane behind the camera. So, you know, coming down off the Royal Military Canal, that way is the coast. And what gives me the idea is that we've got all these trees in the background, particularly a tree in the distance there. So it could actually have been further up in the field, more towards that end, but you've got the North Downs again coming right across, and you only get a snippet of that in the song, you know, while they're videoing it, because the camera angle is coming down on them as they're kind of performing in a field of rapeseed. Again and Again and Again was Denny Lane's only contribution to the album, and it always makes me wonder, you know, if McCartney was just hanging on and so only gave Denny Lane the one contribution. Of course, he's going to earn money from that, isn't he? Because as a writer, you will get royalties on sales of records. Because I often wonder, you know, when McCartney does collaborate with other writers, you get a juxtaposition in the lyric writing. You know, when we think of I Saw Her Standing There, She Was Just a Beauty Queen, and Lennon going, we're not having that. Okay, you know what I mean. I've said that before. So when he's given his own kind of vehicle to write his own songs, he comes up with some stonkers. They're fabulous songs, but then you get silly things, in my opinion, like Why do you need him, my salamander? My salamander? Who calls anybody a salamander? Is it because it rhymes with, well, say you don't love him, oh no, don't answer. You know, salamander, don't answer. Oh, I think I'll write that down, that sounds good, yeah. Anyway, I'm back to Again and Again and Again. Was 2 songs, this is what I've read. And Denny Lane had, you know, so you don't want to be the little woman. And it's kind of a rocky, upbeat, country rock type song. But then it breaks into the winter time is a-coming now. And McCartney, as I read, had said to Denny, put them together, make them into one song. So yeah, Again and Again and Again. It looked like they were having fun, you know, performing in here. This was the first time I'd seen an acoustic bass. You know, Paul's playing an acoustic bass. Like, oh, that's... So, you know, the whole album is like a voyage of discovery for me anyway, because I'm learning to play the guitar. I really do like the album. It's a good album. Arrow Through Me, what a fabulous song, with Steve Holley playing the hi-hat. You know, you kind of think it's going to be bass drums 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Snare is 2 off the 4, so 1, 1, 1. And hi-hat is usually 8. But he plays it on the offbeat, so it's dum, 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 dum. Oh, baby. What can I say? I get carried away with my music. It comes to the mind. This is it. This is lovely. This is as close as I'm going to get you to the field of rapeseed. Had I come here in May, this might have been rape, but it's wheat now. It makes me also wonder, McCartney approaching a local farmer and saying, we want to do some footage, or the team, we want to do some footage for a video in your field. Do you mind? Now, does he then say, we will pay you for any damage? Because look at this, there's a whole area here with no crop in it. Why is that? Is that because the band and everything had set up here all those years ago? There's a song in there somewhere. Or does he say, and we're doing it for McCartney? And the farmer goes, oh, we're not worthy, it's McCartney. Do what you like. Make as much damage as you like. It's going to be, you know, remembered. I'm sure he paid for the use of the field. Okay, where to now? Let's go here. Does this look familiar? Vast quantities of sand dunes, sand banks. Perfect location for a North Africa meandering of entertaining the troops. Now, it could have been any one of these inlets, you know, 1979, how many years? 43 years since Back to the Egg. Astonishing amount of time. And the waves and the wind, it would have changed, but it was here. And you got kind of like the rolling hills at the background, which you see. So you get the band performing on a stage, probably around here. Paul gets out of the staff car, walks around the stage, takes a cup of tea off the guy. Some of the hammiest acting I think I've ever seen. Oh yeah. Oh. But that's me talking from my acting prowess. Now, Baby's Request was not supposed to be on Back to the Egg. And Paul was down in France on holiday. He had gone to a venue and saw the Mills Brothers. Now this is the clever thing with McCartney and his writing, in my opinion, because he draws inspiration from so many sources. And we think about the benefit of Mr. Kite and Lennon saying, I want to smell the sawdust. Well, I think McCartney incorporates all the things, because of course his dad was in a jazz band, wasn't he? And so the influence is undeniable. So he was in France and he saw the Mills Brothers performing, and to his astonishment, he didn't even know they still existed. He thought they'd all passed away. What was it? They were 73 and rotund was his comment. So he'd made his way to the backstage after the concert, And one of the guys had said, "Hey Paul, how about writing a song for the Mills Brothers?" "Sure, I can do that for you." And he'd gone home and within a day had written Baby's Request. Now I'm going to try and get away with a 10-minute sound bite. This is the Mills Brothers.
All this world, I'd rather have a paper doll to call my...
I say 10 minutes, I meant 10 seconds. If copyright doesn't allow it, then it'll be muted, because I'll have to upload the video once just to check that there are no copyright infringements. Now, in the vein of the Mills Brothers, he'd written Baby's Request. There was miscommunication in the management for the Mills Brothers. Wings had performed the demo on tape, sent it over to the Mills Brothers, and the Mills Brothers management had made the assumption that McCartney was going to pay the Mills Brothers to record and perform the song. My God, if McCartney asked me to play one of his songs, I wouldn't be charging him, I can assure you. So, you know, the management got in the way, and the Mills Brothers didn't ever record the song. So McCartney did, and put it on Back to the Egg. Whether it's misplaced, you know, it's kind of all the rock and everything, but it's that whimsical stuff again from McCartney. And I actually think this could be Arrow Through Me and Baby's Request are the two outstanding songs for me. And again, it goes back to the video for the TV special, because when you get the video and you get the music accompanying it, you visualize the song. Fabulous stuff. So yeah, that could be it. Now let's just find a little alcove here. Now I'd like to think that I'm actually sitting where the whole filming was taken place. It'd be wonderful. So Wings, but Baby's Request concludes, it's the very last song on the very last Wings album. So it's kind of like the, I was going to say bookend, but I don't know what the beginning bookend is. So it all starts on Wildlife, and you get Denny Sewell with Denny Laine, McCartney and Linda. And then we get the recruitment of Henry McCulloch, gives us that fabulous guitar solo on My Love. They depart, we get Band on the Run. You know, the opus magnum. He then recruits Jimmy McCulloch and Joe English on drums, left-handed open hi-hat player. So normally you play drums like that, but he plays with the open. Just catch him on the Wings Over America video. Very, very clever drummer. They were a solid band, and they were 4.5 albums. Was it 4.5? Venus and Mars, Wings at the Speed of Sound. Obviously greatest hits, but I don't think that counts. 2.5, 3.5, 2.5. Yeah. London Town. And then it all splits again. And then for Back to the Egg, we get Laura Stuber and Steve Holley on drums. And I think this band and this setup could have gone a long way. What a great, strong band. Laura Stuber on guitar. But that was it. That was the end of it. And you have to think, did Denny Laine, or was Denny Laine given enough, what's the word I'm looking for? Gusto, you know, he had so much to offer, but was he suppressed? Was it the McCartney show with a bit of Denny Laine thrown in? But Denny Laine was the consistent member, wasn't he? And McCartney would then go on after Linda's death to play with so many, well obviously up till all his solo work you had collaborations with Stevie Wonder, you had Eric Stewart on guitar and co-writing, you had Ringo performing on Tug of War, and then when Linda died you get Robbie McIntosh and Stuart Hamish on guitar, you get Chris Whitten on drums, he was very good, and Paul Wickens on keyboards. He would then go on to play with McCartney almost throughout his, you know, longevity. Then you get into the solo touring years with his now current band, and you've got Brian Ray, Rusty Anderson, I think it is, Abe Laboriel Jr. on drums. I had the good fortune of meeting those three guys. I was coming back from work from London on the train, And as I got off at Ashford, they were waiting for their connecting train to take them back up to London. I can only assume that they'd been down at Peasmarsh, been recording at Paul's Place, and rather than have a limo to take them back to the city, this is just my summarised, me thinking, they probably, no, we'll take the train, or in American, hey man, we'll take the train, we'll be tourists. So anyway, I'm getting off the train, and there they are on the platform. Nobody is giving them any notice at all, and why would they, unless you're an aficionado of McCartney and you know that this is his band. Anyway, I went up to them, I said, guys, can I do a selfie with you? And I caught this picture. Oh, it was such a special moment for me, because when you think of is it 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, have you heard of that? How many people can you connect till you get to Kevin Bacon? And all of us in the world can get to Kevin Bacon at least by 7 degrees. I can get to Kevin Bacon in 2 degrees, because I did some working with Clemens Posse and Stephen Delaney on the tunnel, and Stephen Delaney had worked directly with Kevin Bacon, so that put me 1 degree from Kevin Bacon. I'm now 1 degree from Paul McCartney, because am I 1 degree? Is 1 degree him and me? So I might be 2 degrees from Paul McCartney, because I've met those other two. I don't think that's a kind of spurious connection. So yeah, that's my summary of Back to the Egg. Wings' last album could have been a good, strong album, and could have been a good, strong band, but they were just finding their roots with the new players, and subsequently the drug bust, going solo. I think there was some animosity coming up with the old Denny Lane. Was there that thing about big tax bill, signing over his rights to Mull of Kintyre to McCartney so that McCartney could pay the bill? That's what I'd read. So, let me just add, I had been contacted by Eric Bay, a comment in one of my videos. It was the Bluebird song that I'd done, link up here, and he said, I'm putting together a compilation album of lesser known McCartney songs from his solo career, or Wings, obviously not the Beatles, to celebrate McCartney's 80th birthday. Now, he's released the album. I've done my contribution. It is Bluebird, and the album is available on Bandcamp, so I'm going to put a link in the description below. Go and give it a listen. It's a contribution of solo artists like myself and other people who have done all the production and recording and playing of instruments themselves. So we're all doing a solo song each, and he's created this album called Goat, greatest of all time, I think it is. Picture here, but it's on Bandcamp, so you can listen to it and you can buy it, and all proceeds go to the Battersea Dogs Home, Paul's love of animal welfare. So that's worth checking out. So I think there's nothing else to say. That's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I would appreciate comments. I'm pretty sure I got a lot of information right, but I probably got a bit wrong as well, and you can correct me. Come on, let's have your contribution. Drop a comment below, let me know what you think. In the meantime, I've got to think about other things to do. I'm going to do a series on castles, not Beatles related at all. Still got my Quarrymen to do. I think there's still more locations in Liverpool and London to do. Scotland. I've got to go to Scotland because they toured. Lennon had his car crash. McCartney's got his farm. And of course, the location for Mull of Kintyre. Lots and lots of things to do. I shall say thanks for watching, bearing with. I will see you in another video. We've got a chance and we'll take it. We may win or we may lose. We may even have to cut a run for it. Well, it won't be the first time I've run, and it won't be the first time I've been caught.